Have you ever had a small creature change you, your habits, your lifestyle, without even saying anything, because they can't even speak? No, it's not a child. It's not even a human being. This is what happened with me. I was writing down my New Year resolutions for 2010 when I was living and working in Dubai at the time as an interior designer. I stayed there for a while. My best friend told me to write it down in the form of a vision board, to post pictures, to put it on my fridge, so it's a constant reminder all the time. My vision board consisted of 3 categories and a half. It consisted of family, career, and community. And I also added a picture of a cat. Under family, I wrote, I wanted to see my family more often. Under career, I wrote, I want to design my own brand of handbags. And under community, I wrote, I want to be of help. I also added, I'm adopting a cat. And I inserted this picture of a cute gray and white kitten, the cutest thing I could find on the internet. Beautiful blue eyes. The way I was living in Dubai at the time, I was working in interior design. I was self-oriented, career-oriented. I had a pretty good job. Like many people, I was living for myself, didn't really have a purpose, and I loved a good steak. That's why I think when I wrote down that vision board, I think God was really listening, smiling, and he would have thought, okay, let's start with the cat. You will adopt a cat, but it will not be that cute gray and white kitten with blue eyes that you chose. It will be something I choose for you. You see, my best friend at the time had just adopted a cat and told me how amazing it was. And another friend used to keep cat food in the car to feed strays, which I found was so adorable, and I started doing it myself. So there was a group of stray cats that I used to feed, all beautiful souls. But in particular, there was Ruffy, so called because she must have had a really rough life. Ruffy was black and brown. She had the most amazing eyes. She used to walk with a limp because she had one leg shorter. She had half a tail. She had a few missing teeth. Later I knew she was at least 5 years old, so in no way was she the picture-perfect kitten that I wanted to adopt. But something told me that she was the one that truly deserved to be off the streets, the hot streets of Dubai, and the one who really deserves the home. Some say you don't choose who you adopt. They choose you. Ruffy chose me. She chose to come back with me. February the 10th of 2010. And I remember the date because I wrote it down on that vision board with a check. I wanted to get Ruffy. Here's Ruffy, by the way. I wanted to get Ruffy more of her friends, her stray friends, that I really liked, and I thought they'll keep her company while I'm at work. But something tragic happened that same month. I came for a short visit to Lebanon to see my family, and my dad had a sudden stroke, and he left us. I decided I'm packing my bags and I'm coming back to Lebanon. And Ruffy came along too. At the time, after I came back, I used to ask about the other strays, what happened to them, and I was quite surprised to know that they started disappearing mysteriously. I had no idea why or what happened to them, but it occurred to me, it dawned on me, and it was such a huge realization when I realized that I might have actually saved her life. I knew I adopted Ruffy, but I didn't know the meaning of rescue until then. Ruffy was my first rescue. I think she also knew that I saved her life. See, Ruffy had this amazing way of showing gratitude for every bite that she had, for every word that was said, yes, word, for every pet on the head, For every time I told her that I loved her, she understood and I felt it, and she reciprocated it. She gave me solace at a very hard time for me after my father passed. And I can't help but remember ancient Egyptians who used to revere cats to the point of worship. And it's most probably because they understood the healing power of a cat. They say if you put a cat in a room full of broken bones, a cat's purr would heal these bones. That was my Rafi. And this was just the beginning. In a year's time, I felt that compassion grow much bigger. It started including all animals, all living beings. I found myself unable to consume meat and chicken and later all animal-derived products. I was simply not able to participate in cruelty after I knew how much cruelty was inflicted on animals in the process. Things that were normal to everyone and to me were not normal anymore. And I decided, even if it's a small step, even if I'm the only one vegetarian or later vegan or whatever, and whatever small step this was, I am the only person who's responsible for myself, and I'm the only one who is in control of me. I'm not in control of anyone else. And small steps that I do, if they align with what I feel and what I believe in, then that was enough. I believe that by then, Rafi felt that her purpose on earth was fulfilled. She fell sick, and she left us after 2.5 years of being adopted. But what she left behind was so much bigger. I simply was not aware that one could have such a connection with an animal, such a feeling of love, how much they understand, how much they were like us. She would sometimes get mad at me if I was late for a few hours. They were so much like us. They feel pain. And I felt how much pain she tolerated when she was sick, and she still loved us back. How she healed myself and my family at a time when we really needed healing. She was a small creature with amazing eyes, and just looking through these eyes, it opened another window of another universe. And after she left, I felt that so much can be done. Once I realized how important it is saving one life can do to the rescuer as well as to the rescued, I felt that I needed to do more. Perhaps to adopt again. So I did. And a stray cat. And she also chose me by walking in front of my work one day. But I felt that everyone needs to experience this. Why don't we create something bigger? There is so much cruelty out there. There is so much, animals are being targeted, being exploited, and I had no idea that so much was happening and so much help was needed. So I thought, let's start an NGO. This is when Refit was born. Refit means compassion in Arabic. And it's very interesting that writing these words down for the talk was the first time I realized how much Refit and Rafi sound alike. This is our promise: protect, rescue, save lives. We saved so many lives. Cats and dogs that were shot in accidents, abused, dumped, some were even starved. We saved some lives, we lost some that left a mark on us for a very long time. But we tried so much to rescue. We started a small shelter to host these amazing souls, mostly dogs at risk, because dogs were more targeted and still are more targeted in this part of the world. And this place became home to them. And the protect part, I started joining these amazing NGOs all over the world that are calling for change and end of animal cruelty. I'll tell you a very interesting story. I was walking down the streets of Madrid 15 years ago, and I saw a group of animal rights activists. And I just wanted to be funny, so I turned around and I said, "Where's the closest steakhouse?" My sister still tells the story till today. I find myself now joining these amazing people who are now calling for animal welfare. Protect. Let's cause some change. Let's talk to the new generation. So we started going to schools to tell them about rescuing animals and why we do what we do. And you know what the best reaction we get from kids was? It's when they say they want to volunteer with us. Growing up in a war zone like Lebanon, we had no such thing as volunteering, let alone we had no such thing as saving animals. And we always thought that charity is the most noble thing to do, and helping meant helping humans exclusively. I honestly didn't know of anyone who helped animals, to be honest. But these amazing children have a whole world in front of them. Can you imagine if volunteering became the norm in Lebanon, part of every institution? I had a friend who told me that when two people meet where she lives in Canada, the first thing they ask each other is, "Where do you volunteer?" In this part of the world, it's, "Where do you come from? What do you do?" And if it's not too abrupt, they'll probably ask you how much money you make. I thought that was amazing, and I wanted to leave something for these children, the new generation, something to remember us with in case we don't have enough time to talk to all of them. So maybe a children's book? We found an amazing idea, a very subtle message, a beautiful message about compassion from a special child called Indigo. He's connected to animals, to nature. He loves everything around him, and he loves to help. And it was such a beautiful message to deliver, just to say, be kind, that compassion is beautiful, and it should come from within. I still have my dream, which is to create a brand of handbags. You see, when I was in Dubai, I loved fashion so much. I still do, and particularly handbags. And I loved wearing brands and what have you, and I really wanted to create my own brand. So one day, I left a job, and I flew to Milan to study handbag design. At the right time, Asante was born. This is the name of my brand. Asante means thank you, and it embodies the gratitude that I love to share with everyone. It's a word in Swahili, and the origin is Arabic. Asante joins the things that I love most, architecture and fashion. There's a particular bag that I'm really fond of that combines rescuing and fashion, Asante and Refit. You guessed it right, after 2 years, Asante also went vegan. Now, Asante uses leather, which is made from plants, not from animals. This bag is called the connection between them and us. You see, the reason why I'm saying all of this and sharing all of this is to say that having a life of purpose makes your life fuller. I simply had an eye-opening experience when I looked deep into the eyes of an animal. And it opened so much more ahead. I found purpose when a cat walked into my life with a limp. I pray that you find yours. Thank you.